What's up, guys? I'm excited about today's video because I get to introduce most of you to a very special project car of mine. Now, I've had this car about 10 years. We have quite the history together. It has some sentimental value as it was really the first kind of major project me and my father put together. And if you've been a friend of mine for a while now, you probably already know what it is. But if you're new to the channel, I think you'll really enjoy it because it has quite the story. So stay tuned and we'll get right into it. Well, as most of you have guessed from the thumbnail and title to this video, it is a Toyota Supra, more specifically a 1997 model. And believe it or not, the thumbnail image for this video is actually a picture of how this car started about 10 years ago. Me and my dad got it from an auction, paid $1,700 for it. It is an NA auto car, but a Supra nonetheless, right? So as you can see in that picture, this front frame rail was ripped all the way back to here. I mean, I don't know if he centered a light pole, centered a telephone pole, or what, but as you can see, she's back together now. Ignore a lot of the gaps. I just threw the front bumper and headlights on for this video to make it look a little more complete. Nothing's really finalized right now. But other than that, it was a running and driving car. I have the engine out right now, so she's not running right now, obviously, but wouldn't take much to get her back on the road if I really wanted to, but still got some work to do before that happens. So going into a little bit about what you're seeing here, why it's in primer, is when we first fixed this car, there was still some gap issues back here, because I'll show you a picture right here real quick. So as you can see, after it hit whatever it did in the front, I guess it spun around and hit something back here that really smashed this quarter panel in. So when we fixed it the first time, the hatch and the quarter panel didn't really line up too well. The tail light wasn't fitting perfect. So this time around, I've kind of just went back and fine-tuned a lot of that, smaller details. I also went ahead and molded the rear bumper into the quarter panel. Now, a lot of people would disagree with that, but I did it for the reason of I'm really trying to make this car look as smooth and as slick as possible. And on a lighter colored car like this, especially yellow, you just see all the body lines. They just hop right out at you. And for those of you who don't know, the rear bumper was right there. So you're looking down this really smooth, curvy Supra body, and then all of a sudden you got this really sharp black line right there that just broke your eyes away from, you know, the smoothness, I guess. Same for these rear side pods here. I went ahead and molded them in as well. Same reason. Shouldn't ever have to take them off, and there was a black horizontal line right through there that just threw off the eye. So I decided to smooth in a lot of that. Same for the side skirts even. There were some side markers right about there. Shaved those as well. And before anybody gets too worried, this rear bumper really should never have to come off. You can get the tail lights out without having to pull it. You have access to the tag lights without having to pull it. So unless I got rear-ended, I should never have to pull the bumper anyways. On this side, also shaved the radio antenna. Again, that side marker down there. I still have to shave the rear wiper hole here. The wiper nozzle up there has already been done. I haven't shaved the spoiler holes yet because I'm undecided about what I'm going to do for a spoiler this go around. So kind of left that there just in case. Take you inside real quick. Nothing special. All black. Leather on the seats, quite worn, so Had made a custom gauge pod radio bezel over there, but gonna be swapping that back out with a factory panel. Don't really like that anymore. Get me a new steering wheel. That is the factory Supra steering wheel. Looks like it came straight out of a Toyota Camry. Now, you may notice that the target top is black, and that is because I actually Paul Walkered this car one time, and driving down the road it flew out. So remember to always lock your target tops, guys. About 45 miles an hour with the window down, and she ejected right out of the car about 40 feet in the air. Thankfully she landed right side up, but just the impact caused some rippling in the top. So we body worked it, got it looking right again, but just didn't have any more yellow paint, so shot it black. But other than that, she's sitting on some 19-inch staggered Volt GTC wheels, HKS coilover. She has a Cybon vented carbon fiber hood with the Aero latch flush mount hood pins. I'm still undecided on this hood. I think I'll like it more when I get it painted how I wanted, but I may end up trying to go back to a factory hood. We'll see. But that's pretty much sums up the outside and what I've been doing to it. At one point it looked perfectly fine, and here I am taking 2 steps back, but in the end I want it to be 100% right this time. I want everything to be working and how I want it before I bring it back out. So that's kind of why you guys hadn't seen it in a long time. The real reason though is because the last place I lived for 5 years, no garage, no carport, not even concrete. I mean, I had nowhere to work on this thing. So as you can see now, I got a pretty decent sized shop, so we'll be fooling around with it and try to get this baby on the road again. Now you can see this side looks a little worse. It's not in primer or anything, but again, taking all the same steps I did on the other side. But let me show you where the vast majority of the work has taken place while it's been in hibernation, and that is under here. Ignore that gap right there again. I just threw the bumper on for this video. Well, here she is, guys, the pièce de résistance. I will poorly attempt to say in my southern accent, but the crowning jewel, if you will, of this whole build so far. Also, where I've spent most of my time. Probably have 200 hours in here trying to get it to look to this point, and still got some hours yet to go, but I'm close enough now to where I feel like I can move on to something else. But real quickly, just want to kind of give you a before and after, or a before and until now. So here we go. Quite the difference, I think we'll all agree on. Now, it wasn't easy, took a lot of work. Again, I'll show you kind of a shot here of what she looks like now and what she used to look like. So hopefully that puts into perspective how much work it took to get to this point. I mean, I've probably welded up 100, 150 different holes in here. I've cut out, re-welded in new sheet metal, completely reshaped the shock towers on both sides, reshaped the firewall on that side. I mean, smoothed out the fender wells, front and rear on both sides, just trying to make it look as smooth and as slick as possible in here. But also, to achieve the effect, there will be no amenities in here. So no AC, no power steering, no heat, no wipers. I mean, we're talking about bare bones, and that's perfectly fine. I will drive the car as much as I possibly can. Obviously not in the rain, but you know, cars like this shouldn't have to see that kind of nasty weather anyways. But windows down, top off. I mean, I'll enjoy every minute of it. I don't need all that fancy stuff. As far as what we still have to go, I need to get that thing right there back into here next. And with that, I'm going to be making a tucked radiator and intercooler setup. It's going to have backdoor style end tanks, really short route intercooler piping. Got to really clean up that bottom core support there, trim off a lot of that. I have this whole top section here still left to do. That'll be reshaped, smoothed out. This giant gap right here will be enclosed. And from then on, fabbing up a turbo setup. And of course, long term, getting this whole car, engine bay and everything resprayed yellow. Alright guys, that's where I'm cutting the video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope I didn't bore you to death, and honestly I hope I covered everything. I really don't know. I don't know if I'm just rambling, what I missed, what I went over. I have no idea. But if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'll answer them, no problem. And I do want to say there will be another video about this car. It's going to be more about how it went from that crumpled up heap on the trailer to what it is now. Unfortunately, most of that work was done about 9 or 10 years ago, so I wasn't filming back then. However, I did get a ton of pictures, so I'll throw them together in a video, and you'll kind of see the step-by-step process it took to get it from that total wreck mess to what it is you saw today. But stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more content on this channel, just hit that subscribe button right there below. Tell your friends about it. Bring them along for the ride. Love to have them. In the meantime, though, guys, just wing it.